Emma Collins had always been drawn to mysteries, the kind that blurred the line between myth and truth. As a freelance journalist, she often hunted urban legends for her blog, The Midnight Files. One gray afternoon, while walking home from an interview, she spotted a small antique shop she'd never noticed before, Hawthorne and Sons Curiosities. The shop looked misplaced in time. Dusty windows, crooked letters on the sign, faint music from a gramophone leaking into the street. Inside, the air smelled of old wood and something faintly metallic, like blood and rain. An elderly shopkeeper emerged from behind a counter, his left eye cloudy, his voice trembling. "You're looking for stories, aren't you?" he rasped. Emma blinked. "What makes you say that?" He smiled faintly. "Because only people who chase ghosts find their way here." That was when she saw it. An enormous mirror leaning against the far wall, framed in tarnished silver that caught the light like liquid. Its glass was slightly rippled, as though it had once melted and reformed. When Emma touched its surface, she felt a faint vibration beneath her palm, like a heartbeat. "How much?" she asked. The old man hesitated. "That mirror belonged to a girl named Lila Hart. She disappeared in 1953. Don't look into it after midnight." Emma laughed nervously. "That's perfect! It'll make a great story." She didn't notice that the shopkeeper's reflection didn't move as he handed her the receipt.
Emma carried the mirror home through the drizzle and placed it in her hallway, where it reflected her cozy living room, bookshelves, fairy lights, and a couch buried in blankets. She brewed tea and began recording a vlog. "Tonight, I'm testing a supposedly cursed mirror. The legend says it shows you a ghost if you look after midnight. Let's find out." She laughed into the camera, brushed her hair from her face, and turned toward the mirror. Her reflection smiled back. Later, while editing the footage, she noticed something strange. For 2 frames, barely visible, a second figure appeared in the reflection behind her. A girl, pale, black hair, hollow eyes, watching. Emma froze. She scrubbed backward, then forward again. The figure vanished. She forced a laugh. "Probably a lighting glitch," she whispered. But when she looked up, the mirror shimmered faintly, as though something inside had just blinked.
At midnight, Emma couldn't sleep. Her apartment felt too quiet. The clock ticked like a heartbeat. Then came a soft knock. Once, twice. She checked the door. Nothing. Then again, knock, knock. But this time, it came from the mirror. Emma turned slowly. The mirror's surface pulsed faintly. Then she saw her, the girl from the video, standing inside the glass. Pale skin, black eyes, mouth trembling as she whispered, "Emma." Her voice was thin, like wind under a door. Emma's phone slipped from her hand. She stumbled back, heart pounding, eyes locked on the ghost's reflection. The girl pressed her hand against the glass. Frost spidered outward from her palm. Emma screamed and bolted from the room. When she returned moments later, the mirror was clear again, only her reflection staring back, terrified. The next morning,
Emma forced herself to think logically. Sleep deprivation, reflection tricks, stress, anything but ghosts. Still, she couldn't shake the name the shopkeeper had mentioned. Lila Hart. She opened her laptop, diving into digital archives. After hours of searching, she found it. Local teen disappears, 1953. The black and white photo showed a smiling 17-year-old girl with long, dark hair. According to reports, Lila vanished from her home days after her mother's death. The only clue left behind was a shattered mirror. Witnesses said she'd been obsessed with contacting her mother's spirit through mirror seances. The article ended with a local superstition: if you hear your name whispered at night, don't answer. It's Lila calling from the other side. Emma leaned back, staring at the reflection of her screen in the mirror behind her, and for a split second saw another pair of eyes staring back. Determined to prove it wasn't real, or to catch evidence if it was, Emma set up her camera facing the mirror. Midnight came. The room temperature dropped. Her breath fogged the air. Then, faint static from the microphone. Emma. The whisper was unmistakable now. She turned the camera toward the mirror, and there she was again, Lila, her face pale, her expression pleading. "Help me," the girl whispered. "Please." Emma's voice trembled. "Who are you?" The reflection's mouth opened, but the voice that came out sounded behind her. "Don't trust what you see." The lights flickered violently, plunging the room into total darkness. When the light returned, Lila was gone, but on the mirror's surface, words were faintly etched. "Help her." Emma returned to the antique shop the next morning, shaken but resolute. To her shock, the shop looked abandoned, the windows covered in grime, the door sealed with cobwebs. Inside, dust coated everything. It was as if decades had passed overnight. She forced the door open, coughing as dust swirled in the air. Behind the counter, she found a small box labeled Hart Family. Inside were photographs. Lila with her mother in 1950, smiling before the same mirror, and beneath them, a brittle notebook. The handwriting was desperate. "She's still in there. I trapped her soul to protect her from the darkness, but it calls to her every night." Emma felt the hairs on her neck rise. The mirror hadn't been cursed. It was a prison. Emma spent the next days piecing together Lila's story. The girl had been obsessed with an ancient ritual, a way to preserve souls through reflections. Her mother's death drove her to attempt it, but the ritual backfired, binding her instead. Every generation since, the mirror surfaced, calling out to someone new. Each time, the voice took the listener's name, trying to pull them in. That night, Emma placed candles around the mirror,
opened her notebook and whispered, "Leela, if you can hear me, I want to help." The air turned cold. The flames bent toward the glass. Leela appeared, crying this time. "You shouldn't have tried. It's already too late." Emma felt something brush her shoulder, a freezing hand. She spun around, nothing there. But her reflection didn't move.
Determined, Emma performed the ritual written in Leela's notebook. It required her to face her reflection without blinking, repeating the words, "I see you. I free you." At first, nothing happened. Then the glass rippled like water. Leela stepped halfway out, eyes glowing faintly blue. "You can't save me. You can only take my place." Emma's instinct screamed to run, but she stayed, voice shaking. "If that's what it takes." The mirror cracked. The world went dark. She felt herself falling, through ice, through silence, into a place of shadows and whispers. When she opened her eyes, she was standing in a colorless version of her apartment. The mirror was on the wall, and on the other side, her reflection, smiling faintly.
Emma pounded on the glass, screaming, "Let me out!" Lila appeared beside her, calm now, her voice echoing, "Every mirror shows two worlds, the seen and the unseen. You freed me, Emma, but someone must remain." Emma shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "Please, no, I just wanted to help." Lila's expression softened. "That's why it had to be you." Outside the mirror, Emma's reflection moved independently, straightening her posture, brushing her hair, and whispering with her voice, "Don't worry, I'll take care of your life." The real Emma screamed as the mirror surface froze solid, sealing her inside forever.
Weeks later, a new tenant moved into the apartment. She admired the decor, cozy, elegant, everything in place. Only one thing stood out, the mirror. She smiled at her reflection, Emma's face, not knowing it wasn't a reflection at all. But deep inside the glass, another figure watched, Emma's trapped soul pounding silently, her eyes filled with horror. When midnight came, the mirror shimmered. The new tenant turned off the lights, and in the darkness a whisper rose. "Do you want to see me too?"